I'm just going to say before we start the video that the audio problems we had last time were entirely down to the Goofy Movie / Powerline t-shirt I was wearing at the time, and I'm just not wearing it for this audio recording. So there's that. So today I'm doing 121 Hakim House, I think. It's that really, really colourful one that's kind of so colourful that it hurts your eyes. I didn't want to do something that wasn't colourful, so it's still colourful and it still hurts your eyes, and it's not necessarily better, but it's different, maybe. I kind of kept with their whole one big colour scheme per room kind of thing going on, so you'll see that throughout, I'm sure. Today though, instead of talking about the speed build, because I don't care, frankly, I actually really wanted to talk about Pacific Rim. And now I will talk about Pacific Rim at any available opportunity. And it has occurred to me that this is an available opportunity. Now, unlike the last videos, I came with notes and everything, because there's, I've got 11 minutes. And I need to be able to get through it. So Pacific Rim, what is it? I don't know. It's a film from like 2011 or something. I didn't look. And it's about giant robots versus giant aliens. The concept is that in, I think, 2015, aliens attacked the Earth, but instead of coming from the sky, they came from the bottom of the ocean. That's kind of it. Then, to combat the giant aliens, humanity built giant robots. Now, frankly, that's the best problem solving I've ever heard of. If I was going to face giant aliens, I too would build a giant robot, so I'm on board. I think they absolutely, they knocked the nail on the head. Travis Beacham, who wrote it, and Guillermo del Toro, who directed it, they knew exactly how humanity would react to giant aliens, because it's exactly how I would react to giant aliens. Now, why is this the height of cinematography? Why is it the height of cinematography? I don't know. A lot of it's CGI. I don't know if that counts. But what it is, really, that gets me is the concept of the drift. They created so many really cool little bits in the world building, and I just want to scream over it, because it's just so intensely awesome thinking about like the whole way that you control these giant robots is you have to have a partner, because the neural load's too heavy. It would basically destroy your brain to control a robot for that extent, for like that period of time. So you share it with another person, and to do so you share your deepest and darkest memories with them, and you meld your minds together and you become one person. And if that's not the best soulmate AU I've ever heard of, I don't know what it is. Because just think of the potential. Think of the potential for romance, for platonic love, for siblings and parents and children. I mean, in the film alone, you have people who don't even like each other. Stack of Pentecost going with I don't remember his name. He's the annoying Australian one that we don't like. But we do kind of like him. Is it Chad? No, it's not Chad. It can't be Chad. So, those two don't even like each other, but then you have Hercules Hansen and his son, who's the same Australian guy, I can't remember the name of. It's this father-son relationship, and you also have married couples. You have, our main characters, Mako Mori and Varley Beckett. And honestly, like, it says right here on my list of things to talk about, wax poetic about Raleigh for at least 6 minutes, and that's totally valid. What a lad. What a lad. I mean, as well, just to think about, I think it's Charlie Hannon who plays it, and like, he's only been in like one other major thing. I think he was like a lead in Sons of Anarchy and nothing else. And he brought his A game to this kind of low budget, it seems, for this, extent of a story kind of film. He brought his A game. He did incredible things. His accent made it. Like, I just have to like weep when I think about him. Mainly because I've read the books, so I know that he dies. Is that a spoiler? Yes, but he does die. Not in the films. So you can live your entire life without ever actually reading about his death. And I'm going to tell you about it because I'm so upset, because he saves the world. He does. What is it? 2000 and 2020. I think it's 2020, the year that his brother dies, and he solo pilots the Jaeger, which is the giant robot. And then he goes through all that. He leaves for 5 years, and then he gets brought back in 2025 for the end of the world, doomsday, last run at the breach to save humanity. And he saves humanity. It's a film. We know he's going to win. He saves humanity. He does incredible things. And then he dies of radiation poisoning 3 months later. I mean, just think about that. If you've seen the film, you didn't know that. It's in the follow-up book called Pacific Rim Ascension. And of course, I've read all the books and the graphic novels and the web comics because I'm low-key obsessed. But he literally he dies 3 months later because he went into an alternate dimension, remember? And the radiation there, it killed him. That's so sad. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. I love him so much. He deserves better. He does. Mako Mori also deserves better. They did her dirty in Uprising, by the way. I mean, it says right here on my list, the sequel, aka John Boyega's Time to Shine. It was. He did incredible things. He did a great job. John Boyega is an excellent actor, which surprises me every time. I'm not sure why. I think I just go in thinking he's a mediocre actor, and then he just does something that absolutely changes the game. Like, what a dude, what a lad, what an actor. And he came into Pacific Rim some like 7 years or something after the last film. And it's only got like one character that was in that first film, and he just came in and he was like, "This is my story now. I am Stacker Pentecost's son, and I am going to have all of the gravitas of my father, Idris Elba, and then I'm gonna not make the cancelling the apocalypse speech." I mean, the cancel the apocalypse speech, as is also in my notes, is the hardest speech I've ever heard. Like, no speech has ever gone harder than "Today we will cancel the apocalypse." Who has the audacity to cancel the apocalypse? I'll tell you who. It's Idris Elba. God. I mean, I've also got on here the books and their mini inaccuracies, and that's mainly because if you want to read the first book, which is just Pacific Rim, it's just the novelization of the film. It has many inaccuracies, and that's because it was written really, really fast, apparently, and it was based on the script, not the finished piece, and a lot of things changed between script and finished piece, so it's a little bit of a different... It's only the facts, you start off on something like December 21st or something, and then he's in a helicopter for 14 hours, and then it's January 5th. And so you just have these little tiny inaccuracies, but it also means that when you're scrolling down the Pacific Rim Wikipedia page for hours on end, you keep coming across things that are wrong, which is tragic. It's a sad life to live like that. I also had on my list other movies with giant robots and or aliens and why they're not as good, and admittedly I only came up with 3 because I didn't try very hard. The first one is Iron Giant, and I've never seen it, so I imagine it's worse. If Pacific Rim is factually the greatest film ever made, that means all films are worse. And that includes the Iron Giant. I'm sorry to break it to you if you're an Iron Giant fan. Following on, I'm gonna count Voltron. Even though it's a TV show, I'm sure they made like at least one TV film, right? I'm gonna count Voltron. But if you've watched the Netflix version, you know why it doesn't live up. And I'm talking about season 7. I'm talking about season 7. So season 8, if there is, I'm talking about season 8 too. Also, can we talk about the ugly as hell colour scheme in this kitchen that I put together? Like, what a bad time I must have been having. I mean, yeah, pink and green can go together, but should they? It looks like a freaking mint ice cream in there. I don't stand my own work. I think I was just tired at this point. I also wrote Godzilla down because I saw it on my birthday last year with my friend Pippa, and it was trash, frankly, and they had to save his life by blowing up a nuclear warhead. Like that's the height, literally the climax. One of the climaxes of the film. One of the guys like dies to do this. Spoilers, but you don't care. It's not a good film. I think it was Godzilla, King of Godzillas. He's dying. Godzilla's dying. Giant prehistoric dinosaur dude is dying, and they're like, you know what we're gonna do to save him? We're gonna blow up a nuke in his vague vicinity. That'll do it. That'll do it. It was dumb as hell. But the friend I was with, she loved it. She was having such a good time. I looked over to her and her like she was grinning at the screen the whole way through. Like, I wish I could have that reaction. The only time in my life I've ever had that reaction to a film is when I was in year 6 and I was watching Space Chimps for the first time. And I couldn't look away. I could not look away from that monkey going to space. It was I was completely in awe of that movie making. Space Chimps, I have not watched in a long time, but it arguably could be on the same level as Pacific Rim. I can't say that with a straight face. I can't. It was. I imagine it was a good film. Was it Andy Samberg? Probably. Yes, it says at the bottom, point is Pacific Rim's the best movie. I feel like I've made my case quite well. I think you should watch it. It has got Idris Elba in it. Is that not enough? Honestly. There's some really cool stuff. There's robots, there's aliens. Only half the scenes happen at night, so you can see what's going on the screen for at least like half the time, and that's honestly the goal, I think. That's it. That's the video. Here's my terrible attempt at a speed build of 121 Hakim House. It is what it is. I think it's probably slightly worse than it was originally. You should tell me about your thoughts on Pacific Rim and if you've watched it or not, and then you should go and watch it right after this. I'm probably going to. Anyway, have a good day. Thanks for watching. Do things like and comment or whatever. I don't know what the algorithm is. Just thanks. Bye.